Okay, so we are working through question 19 here, which says, given that tan of alpha is equal to d, where d is greater than 0, and alpha is between 0 and pi on 2, the sum of the solutions to tan 2x equals d, where x is between 0, 5 pi on 4 in terms of alpha is... Okay, so on the face of it, this is just a very tricky question, and we should expect that because it's the second last multiple choice question. What we have to do is figure out the sum of the solutions to tan of 2x equals d in terms of alpha. But before we do that, let's just look at the first pieces of information we've been given and see what we can do with them. Whenever I'm given a question and I'm not quite sure where to start, I just do what I can. So why not draw a unit circle and say that I've got tan of alpha is equal to d, and my alpha is between 0 and pi on 2. So here is 0, here is pi on 2. That must mean this right here will be alpha. And when I go tan of alpha, I'm going to get d out. Okay, so I have just a bit of a visual of what I'm doing here. The next thing I would do is look over here and deal with this. So this is telling me that I have tan of 2x is equal to d, and I also have a domain for this. Let me do this in a different color. Let me do it in green. It is 0 is less than x is less than 5 pi on 4. Now immediately I can see that I have 2x here, but my domain is x, so I'm going to figure out what my working domain is. So I'm going to times this by 2, which means I have to times this by 2 and this by 2. So my working domain is going to be 0 is less than 2x is less than, this is going to be 10 pi on 4, which can be simplified into 5 pi on 2. And what I like to do is to draw that domain onto my unit circle. So that would be pi on 2, that would be 2 pi on 2, 3 pi on 2, 4 pi on 2, 5 pi on 2. So not the prettiest thing in the world, but you can see now the domain I'm working with. Okay, what's the next thing I'm going to do? Well, as you can see here, I have tan of 2x equals d, and here I have tan of alpha equals d. And because my domain of this one includes this area, it must mean that this alpha here is 2x. So in other words, I could draw this another way. I could say that this angle right here, it's alpha, and it's 2x. That's not an x, it's 2x. They're the same. In order for them both to give me an output of d, they must be the same. So I would come over here and I would say 2x is equal to alpha. And because I know that my domain here is between 0 and 5 pi on 2, I'm going to have more than one solution. My solutions are going to be, because I know that my d is greater than 0, all the quadrants in which my tan is positive. I know it's positive in the first quadrant, and I know it's positive in the third quadrant. So that means if I want to find what my solution is for down here, I'm going to go like this, which means I'm going to be plussing pi. So it's going to be alpha plus pi to get another solution down here. Now, as you can see, my green represents my domain that I'm working within, and you can clearly see that I can come back around to in here again, which means I'm going to go 2x, and now I'm going to plus 2 pi onto that to come back around to there, because I'm just coming back to the same spot. So that means I'm going to get alpha plus 2 pi. Now, I just want it in terms of x, so it's just going to be x is, so no, I want it in terms of alpha, but I want it just to be x equals this divided by 2, this plus this divided by 2, and then this plus this divided by 2. Now, as you can see, the question asks me for the sum of the solutions. So here are all the solutions which fit within my domain. I'm now going to figure out what the sum of the solutions are going to be. So that means I'm going to take these right here, power of technology, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to plus them all together. So the sum of the solutions are going to be equal to this plus this plus this. All right, so that is going to be, well, I can see that all my denominators are the same. So it's just simply going to be pi plus alpha plus alpha plus pi plus alpha plus 2 pi, which means my answer is going to be 1, 2, 3 alpha plus 3 pi over 2, which is the same thing as I could take that 3 out and be left with this. This right here is going to be my answer. We come and we look at the options we've been given. That is option E. We come and look at our examiner's report here, and you can see 25% of people got this. There is the work solutions that VCAA provides. That's the same thing that I went through just now. Hopefully you found this useful. It is a very tricky question, and hopefully it just seems a bit more manageable now. I'll see you in the next video.